And thanks for joining us at DaveO'HaraSports.com with FightWithFlash.org and Craig and Stacy Schrader via Facebook, Fight with Flash Foundation. Craig, Stacy, back after another week after the golf tourney. We're still reeling from that high, aren't we?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. Still
Thanks
smiling.
for joining me again, as always. Yes, still smiling. You have to be. So, Stacy, let's talk about, Craig and I are going to talk about what's happening, upcoming other events. Got to keep moving on and on. We can't live on our laurels. But again, viewers, I want to say thanks again for, and Craig and Stacy do, for all your help. Over $90,000 raised. And so beat the goal, like you said, divine intervention. We know Fight with Flash, and Flash was with us on that. But I wanted to say also, please continue to go to the website, and Craig's going to talk about that too, some updates. And Stacy, what a pleasant problem. Craig's going to talk some other things with the Fight with Flash and Tater Tough connection. And we're going to have Brad and Darcy Schaefer on next week, so I want to lead into that with Craig in just a minute. But Stacy, so much going on the website that what a pleasant problem you're experiencing. Problem, I guess, is a loose term, but talk about that if you would for us.
Yes, so we still have a bunch of, all of our merchandise. We had such wonderful sales with our merchandise. So we are still taking orders for people. So we've got lots of orders that we're still trying to get taken care of for everybody. So you can still go on our website and you can order through us on the website. And we always have at the end of the year basically a garage sale that we share. We put out all of our leftover merchandise for sale: hats, t-shirts, golf stuff, anything, that we've got. So tons of different stuff, and it's always fun to check out.
I was ready to hop in there and say the Fight with Flash earrings, of course, as always, in the jewelry, and Craig's a very nice Fight with Flash shirt, the polos, but also you've got some leftover t-shirts, right, from the golf tourney?
Leftover t-shirts, yep.
I like those, red, white, and blue, very, very sharp.
Yes.
So Stacy, we'll circle back with you to close out the segment, but Craig, let's then now talk about the connection. And viewers, I want you to know, I asked Craig this question very directly in private because I wasn't sure how this worked, so hopefully you'll walk in with us and listen to Craig's explanation, because I think it can be confusing for some, especially people like me who we know about the philanthropic world, but I'm trying to figure out the connection, and I asked Craig this directly: how does it work with Tater Tough, the TT shirts, and it was awesome to see Tate always to his dying day wore the Fight with Flash shirt. So clear some of that up for us and help me out again, because I get confused easily. So tell us how that connection is. How, I don't want to use the word cross-mingling, but you want to raise funds, but yet you each have your separate foundations. So enlighten us on that a little bit more, if you would, please.
Absolutely. I mean, part of our whole mission is to help families and patients through diagnosis and all the way through the journey. And even at times like us and the Schaefers, when the end result is not what anybody is hoping and praying for. But a lot of that is always talking to families about social media, trying to see if they want to have some type of a following, and in the end, if they want to ever create a foundation. And sometimes maybe it's not a foundation, maybe it's just a one-time event to raise money. Sometimes it is something that is near and dear to their child's heart and their heart at this point in time, to continue on a fight for others. Because it is not fair for any parent at all to ever hear the words that their child has cancer. And especially it's not fair to have the end result that we did. And so we are here to support and help them answer questions. Maybe sometimes don't do what we did, because it might be a little harder road. Sure. But they can learn from some of our challenges and some of our trials and some of our mistakes that we've kind of made along the way. But we're here to support. And sometimes families don't necessarily know really what to raise money for. So we're there to answer questions. Because when you say it's going to the Stead Family Children's Hospital, there's a lot of other categories within that. Is it going to the hospital, the building itself, or is it going to specific programs? Yeah. Like ours is the AYA Adolescent Young Adult Childhood Cancer Program. There's going to be specific type of a cancer that Tate had that realistically there is no cure for, and for them it's just the odds of how long life expectancy can be, and how to build the memories and the legacy, and we're here to support them and their cause. Like us, they brought two teams, to our golf outing, and supported our cause, and we are going to do the same for them. You know, the connection with us and Tate, right? You know, we met them the week after he was diagnosed, and we talked to them over a lunch for about 2 to 3 hours. And we were blessed that day that we got to meet Tate because the grandparents were bringing him in town for treatment, and we got to spend some time with them. And from that moment forward, our friendship grew. But you know, Tate immediately resembled Flash in so many ways. Not just that they had the same birthday.
Right.
They're both sporty kids, and it's not that they were just, you know, athletic and successful at young ages at sports, but it was the teammate that they were, always thinking of someone else, always there to raise the spirits of a teammate that wasn't having success or that had success, and to cheer them on. And from the get-go, you know, he found a place in our heart.
Yeah.
And I think that, you know, we touched his heart as well. And you'll hear more from Brad and Darcy, I'm sure, about that. But, you know, we had the blessing to go through this whole journey with them, you know, the 27 and a half months. And we were, you know, we were blessed to be at his bedside the day before he passed. And there was nothing that we wouldn't give, you know, to be able to do that again and be with him, and to be a part of the funeral and the whole process for the family in that community. And that community is unbelievable, and the Tater Tough Army is awesome, just like our Fight with Flash Army. And it really isn't about us and them. It's about us making and continue on our son's wishes. And to come together and to continue to raise awareness for, you know, childhood and adolescent cancer. You know, as we learned from Dick Vitale that there's only about 4% of the money that is raised by the federal, by grants given, goes to childhood cancer, 4%. Wow. And childhood cancer in the really scheme of it is basically 0 to 18. So you can only imagine if that's 4%, what the 13 to 39 group is. Yeah. It's not even going to be 1%. And so, you know, we want to raise that bar, and we know that we need to do that here locally, and we need to help these families that are unfortunately not just from Iowa, but around the Midwest that are coming here to treat. And we want all the families to know that they are not alone, that we will be here in any way that we possibly can for them, and through every single step of the way.
I got to share this, and a couple times I was going to jump in, but you did such a great job of putting a fine point to that. And I want you viewers to know that I've had the privilege of sitting at lunches and hear this story many times over. But the thing that keeps echoing through my brain is, and I know you viewers got to get this, how many times you two constantly say with what happened to you with Flash, how constantly Craig and Stacy, each one of you, or collectively says, we were blessed. We are blessed. That's what you need to remember. You know, you appreciate every opportunity. Horrible, unspeakable tragedy, something no one should have to go through. As you said, not fair. But, you know, when you mentioned Dick Vitale and Craig and Stacy, we have so many things over the next months, days, weeks of this show that we're going to continue to talk about. We haven't even scratched the surface with Dick Vitale, you know, your trip down to Florida every year, and the legendary Dick Vitale raising, you know, funds and awareness and support for cancer. But Patrick and Fran McCaffrey going through this, and Margaret and the whole family, and you're so close with them and going through that similar battle where Patrick survives. Obviously, Austin Flash doesn't. But with Tate, I still think of everybody has a role model, and how cool at Austin Flash Schrader at 15 was a 10-year-old kid's role model, because to Tate's dying day would wear a Fight with Flash shirt, and he had his own Tater Tough shirts. And so your closeness with Brad and Darcy, and I was just struck when you told me this back in, we first connected on this segment and talked about bringing this out to the public on a digital and TV forum, about how they asked you and to be a part of the funeral. You didn't even know them. You're like, sure, we're there. And I was blown away by that. So there's a lot of things going on, viewers, that you don't even know they're too humble to tell you. I'll be gleeful in telling you what Craig and Stacy do and how tough that is, but always the smiles on the faces. And when the call is made, those two are there every time. So I'll gladly say that every time when they may not for themselves. But Great stuff from you two. Craig, we've got to talk, and Stacy, about you going to Colorado and speaking to groups and sharing the message. You were at Arizona a little over a year or two ago. You've got a Catholic youth conference that was going to be in Indianapolis that you've been a part of, your kids have, and now it's going to be in Iowa City. We got to table all this for another time, but again, we're going to get to all this as it comes down. But Brad and Darcy Schaefer will be joining us next week. Can't wait for that. And I'm going to say right now, unless you guys have anything else, and I know you do, but and I know we've got extended time, that's why we take this to the website. Man, just always the smiles and everything. I'm uplifted every time I do this with you each week, but I know the viewers, please again go to fightwithflash.org or the Facebook page, Fight with Flash Foundation. You see the great work these two are doing. You hear it. It's not just word speak. As you know, it's happening. So can't wait to get the Schaefer perspective next week. Craig, thanks for taking us through that story. And as always, Stacy, thanks for taking us through all the information that's out there. Again, fightwithflash.org or Fight with Flash Foundation via Facebook. Craig, Stacy, I don't know what else there is to say except until next week. Thank you both.
Thanks, Dave.
Thanks so much, Craig, Stacy. For Fight with Flash Foundation, Craig and Stacy Schrader, I'm Dave O'Hara. Thanks for tuning in at DaveO'HaraSports.com. Hawkeyed with me, the TV show as well. That's all from me. Thanks to all of you. Valerie Eichholt, David Eichholt are here joining us with Fight with Flash. Of course, you know David, my Hawkeye insider, joins me each week on television show. And you know what the old expression is, behind every great man is a great woman? Well, there's his mom, Valerie. So let's do this. You know, obviously David's dad, Valerie's husband, Ike, passed away a couple of weeks ago, and we mourned through that with David and Valerie. And Craig and Stacy were so kind to have words of wisdom for David in that process. And Valerie missed them the last time she was here. So I've done all I can do. This is not a job for a host anymore. So David, Valerie, take it away.
So as you guys know, thank you for all the support, obviously, with everything that's been going on. Instead of flowers, Dad wanted to get donations, because he had a soft spot for, kids that had cancer. I mean, I told you guys the story of when he walked into the Omaha hospital, and he was still going through it, and he kind of looked up and saw these kids going through it, and he said, I'm good. I'm at peace with whatever happens, because kids shouldn't have to go through it. Obviously, with Go Gold Month, childhood cancer awareness. It's been a big deal to him, and I know it's been a big part of, obviously it's impacted our family, not obviously yours, and over like that. So in lieu of flowers, we ask for donations. So this is on behalf of Richard Eichholt and the family. So
The material writes itself, folks. Valerie, you got to say something if you would for us, please.
Oh my gosh, I just, I echo what Ike said. It's a tough enough journey for adults. But to see kids going through it, it just doesn't seem right or fair. And so as David's been involved with Dave and learning more about the foundation here, and we have a foundation at home as well, Sammy Superheroes, that we just wanted to really show our support. And we know that Ike is smiling down right now. Oh my gosh, that's so nice.
So, Craig, Stacy, I don't know what else to say, but let you guys.
I'm honored. That's good.
My pleasure.
We're with you in the fight.
Yeah.
We're with you in the fight.
you guys.
Thank you.
Well, folks, I don't know what else there is to say than that. There's not a dry eye anywhere in the house. So, on that note, now truly that is all from us. Thanks to all of you.
Oh my God.
That could not have worked out, brother. That was awesome.
We're gonna make the signing of
That was awesome. Thanks, brother.
Oh,
I'm sorry, Stacy. Gosh, I'm so sorry. Thank you, brother.